I'm glad there's nothing high def about my videos. There's a big ass mosquito bite on my nose. And I'm gonna find the family of this mosquito. And I'm gonna kill every last one of them. Hi, my name is Dindro. I am a video game player, and I have played a video game what is called Last of Us 2, and I have opinions about it. I know I'm late to everything. The game's only been out for 4 days, but apparently I should have made up my mind in April. So what do I think after having played it? Everyone is curious. Did it get woke and go broke? No. Is it a slap in the face to all the fans? No. But it still sucks. I feel like I've been lied to by everyone. Game journalists, anti-SJW YouTubers, God forbid, and the fans, just the fans of the game. All of you have lied to me. All of you have lied to me. What I was led to believe that I was going to get in this game was a game that fucks with your head, was a game that just digs deep and gets brutal and depressing and dark and fucked up. Do you understand how fucking here for that I am? This game was supposed to be torture porn. This game was supposed to be Serbian film The Game. I was looking for something that would mentally and emotionally scar me for life. But all I got was an overlong, disappointing sequel. That's it. I will now rant and rave about the 3 groups of people who have betrayed me. I'm not going to worry about spoilers here, by the way, so get the fuck out if you give a shit. The first group is the least offensive group. It's just gamers. They saw that Joel was going to die, and they were like, I'm out. Didn't want that. Bye. I disagreed with this, and I thought they overreacted too soon before they knew any more about it. I wasn't going to say just go out and see for yourself and play the game. Not everybody has $60 to spend on something that might ultimately be disappointing. Maybe they should have had more information, but it's to them I'm most apologetic to. I will get my revenge anyway, because I said I would, and apparently that's enough. But I can easily defend the direction Naughty Dog went, because I like the idea of that story. For me, Joel dying wasn't a deal breaker. It was just a really interesting twist that could have led to some great things. Spoilers, it doesn't. Don't buy the game. The next group of people who lied to me, the anti-SJW YouTubers. How dare they betray my trust? I'm really at a point where I don't understand what woke means anymore. Like, what do you think is woke? Is it that there's lesbians in the game? Is it that there may be a trans person in the game? By the way, there is, but it's not who you think it is. Is it the mostly female cast, or is there too much diversity? There's a lot of Asians in it. There's a lot of Asians in it. It's definitely not woke because of the all-female cast, because let me tell you something, they are dumb. They are dumb. This game is misogynistic, if anything. But wokeness is not the problem with this game. The most woke thing about this game is the accessibility options, which seem designed for journalists who just can't finish the games. I don't have a problem with it, but the accessibility modes are insane. Like, it's designed for the guy who couldn't get through the tutorial in Cuphead. It just is. There are 2 moments in a game that took me 30 hours that are a little bit woke, right? Like, we have to have a bigot who calls Dina and Ellie dykes. And the trans character is mostly played really well, but there's a scene where they have to have a conversation about it that's a little bit on the nose. That's it. Nothing too overbearing. When I think of a woke game, I think of Dragon Age Inquisition. This game is ridiculous. I didn't even finish Dragon Age because it was so over the top. Everybody was gay. Everybody was bi. Everybody was trans. I was wondering how this whole world could populate itself. On top of that, it's in a medieval setting, which is like, you figured there'd be oppression or obstacles. But there are none. Everybody's so happy. So what the fuck is the point? Why are you talking about it so much? If everything's fine and everybody's okay with it, then let's move on to more pressing issues, right? Like in Star Trek. Anybody who is slamming this game because it has a woke SJW agenda is wrong. And anybody who is making YouTube content over and over and over again, all demonstrating that this is SJW propaganda, what you are doing is propaganda. You're the ones doing propaganda. The game isn't. You are. You're hypocrites and your content is shit. But both the anti-SJW YouTubers and the gamers might be an ends justifies the means type situation. In spite of all of my disagreements with them, they're both at the end saying, don't buy this game, and I'm saying the same thing. So those are the least offensive people. Now let's talk about the game journalists, because y'all done fucked up. 10 out of fucking 10? 10 out of fucking 10! What? Listen, I don't go to the Quarterings channel for deep insight about fucking anything, but you guys are supposed to be fucking writing reviews that tell people whether or not they should spend what is a lot of money on a fucking game, and you gave it a 10 out of 10. Now, I don't think the reviewers are paid off. I just think they're pretentious assholes. This game is a 10 out of 10 if you think divisive plot lines are enough to make a 10 out of 10, or you've never played another video game in your life, or both. For the majority of the game, I was going to give it a 7 out of 10, but once I got to the third act and everything fell apart, it was like, this is a 6 out of 10, and you're giving it a 10. What? If you're going to give early review copies to game journalists, make them pay for it. Make them pay the full price of the game for the review copy, okay? They're paying to get it early. Make them pay more. Fuck it. And then maybe make it so they can't talk to anyone about the game. They can't even talk to each other about the game. They're not allowed to have any opinions verbally at all. Just make them shut up. Because I guarantee you, if they weren't talking to their friends about how subversive and like deep, high art this is, it's not. It's not any of those things. It's a game that falls apart completely under the weight of its own ambitions. For Naughty Dog to pay for good reviews would be the single dumbest thing for a company that knew it was going to make a lot of money just based on the IP. So I don't think that. But what I do think is that it's too attractive for most of these game reviewers, these writers, oh, worse than actors even, to like something that many, many people are going to definitely not like and feel like you have some deeper insight into why it's brilliant. Fuck you. Fuck you all. And mostly it was the game journalists who were telling me that this game was so fucking brutal that they had to put down their fucking controllers and take a break. Fuck off. This game is not that fucking intense. I wanted it to be. Honestly, I was really looking forward to that. If you're going to dismantle characters, make it really fucked up. Make it really fucking, like, impactful. But to be fair, I also heard this from the game journalists who I think gave it a pretty fair shake. That it's so brutal and depressing. Like, remember, I was worried that there would be, like, no moments of levity. But there are moments of levity, and how deep it gets, it ain't that fucking deep. It ain't that deep, it ain't that dark, and if you've played a video game before, I don't understand why this is crossing a threshold. It's not that bad. It's fucking tame compared to what I was expecting, which was Serbian Film the Game. By the way, don't watch that movie. And now I will talk about why I believed that I might like this in spite of what everyone had to say. So everybody probably knows by now that Joel is brutally murdered by someone who was wronged by him in the past. This happens very, very early in the game, and that's one of the reasons people are pissed off. I get it, don't necessarily agree, but hey, like I said, it turns out to be bad anyway, so I guess you were right in a way. Joel's death then kicks off an entire revenge plot. I'm still okay with this, by the way. At this point, I'm not upset. You play as Ellie, looking for revenge over the course of 3 days, and then after that 3 days, you play as the murderer of Joel, Abby, over the course of the same 3 days. Still on board with this, by the way. People have checked out by now, but I'm still on board, and I'll tell you why in a minute. Anyway, after that, the paths converge, and then you get a really long ending sequence. Really long. Listen, it's a simple revenge plot. The only real message here is revenge is bad. It will fuck you up. Revenge at what cost, right? In the same way the first game was love at what cost. This is like hate at what cost. Still on board. Not upset. Playing as Abby is a good idea, no matter what anybody says. And no matter what anybody says, Abby's motivations are more likable and understandable and relatable than Ellie's. Abby is a better character than Ellie. Don't worry, she's still not a good character. I respect, and I wish more people would respect, what Naughty Dog was trying to do. But there's a difference between trying to do something and doing it well. And they did not do it well. If this entire game is going to be about seeking revenge at a negative cost to all of the people involved, then I have to give a fuck about all of the people involved. There's a character named Dina. Don't know who she is. There's a character named Jesse. Don't know who he is. Abby's crew. I don't know who any of them are. I don't know anybody in this game. When they die, I don't give a fuck. Above all else, that's the biggest problem in the game. I don't care about the characters. The characters don't care about the characters. The only characters that are even remotely sympathetic are characters in Abby's section that are still not deeply explored, but they're interesting enough. They're a part of a cult, and the one is the trans boy, and because of that, they're basically apostates to the cult. That could have been explored more. That could have been interesting, but it's really nothing, and the whole game's really nothing. Ellie becomes unlikable by the end. She makes so many fucking stupid decisions because a game has to happen. Ellie is so obsessed with revenge that she alienates everyone in her life. One of her friends is killed because of her fucking lust for blood, and at the moment when it is so fucking obvious that she needs to let go, she goes back. It's so fucking stupid. I thought at some point in the game they would realize they've gone too far, but now be locked into a set of circumstances that they can't get away from, that there would be an ultimate villain. I thought it would be the cult, but that doesn't pan out. So really, it's just characters unreasonably seeking revenge when they've already demonstrated over and over again that this is not the right path. And I know everybody wants to hate Abby, but even though she's not great, she's way better than Ellie. She has the added motivation that Joel did condemn the entire world to the virus. Joel didn't just kill her father, he prevented the cure from even happening. I liked this. I liked that the game wasn't going to pull back on the fact that Joel is not a hero in any sense of the word. Not even an anti-hero. He's just wrong. He was just wrong. And in all fairness, Abby at least lets go before Ellie does. And Abby has more of a beef. She has more of a reason to want to do this. And she can let go of it, but Ellie can't. I feel like this game ruins Ellie as a character. Now, the worst thing the game did that could have been the best thing is flashbacks. It did flashbacks to Ellie and Joel that are supposed to remind you of what you lost within the context of the game and make you want revenge. But really all it does is remind you what you lost and make you want to play that game instead. They're all handled pretty well, but it reminds you that The Last of Us was a better game and that you'd rather play the 4 years before all these events instead of these events. So the story's really disappointing, and honestly, the gameplay could have saved it. As a video game, it could have been saved, but it's really just the same. And remember, I said that wasn't winning any awards. And it doesn't. It's not great. You add a dodge feature and a jump feature and you think that's enough? It's not. It sucks. Oh man, this video really got away from me. I did not realize how much I didn't like the game until I started making this, to be honest. I thought I was going to give it a 7 out of 10, but it's a 6. It's a fucking 6. I think probably reviewing video games isn't my thing, and I'll go back to more normal stuff next time. See ya.